Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I really wanted to try the 3 marker challenge. I've never tried this before, this challenge specifically. And I've seen other people like attempt it and stuff, and I thought it'd be really fun to try it. These are Ohuhu markers, if anyone's curious. And I have a lot more markers than this, but I wanted to limit myself more because I thought it'd be more of a challenge that way. And also I decided to take out some of the colors, these ones, because I feel like this would be really a lot of them are like basically just like a super light gray or just white. Basically, I didn't think that'd be interesting. So maybe that's me cheating a little bit, but yeah, so I guess everyone's just gonna have to trust that I'm closing my eyes, but let's see. So I'm nervous. If I get a really bad combination, it's gonna freaking suck. I'm just gonna take what I can though, okay. All right, I'm gonna go with, let's go with this one. Ooh, oh, that's a pretty color. Okay, so first we got coral pink, R1. This is a really great color actually. So, okay, we're starting out good so far. Okay, number 2, trying to really, okay. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. Ooh, okay, BG1, that's turquoise, blue. Okay, these are pretty colors together. All right, okay, that's a good combination so far. Okay, last one. I'm happy with that actually. Okay, hopefully. Oh god, I'm so nervous if I get that. Okay, I'm trying to think what I want to get. This one. Oh, okay. PB9, which is cloud blue. All right, you know what? This is not a bad color. I am kind of sad that I got another like bluish color because those 2 colors are kind of similar, but you know, it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, this is exciting. I'm excited to see. I haven't sketched anything out yet for this, so yeah, we're gonna see. All right, let's start. So as I said before, I had not planned any of the sketch out or anything, and so I was kind of I don't know, anxious, I guess, because I had no idea what I was planning on doing because I didn't know the colors I was going to be getting. But the first thing that I wanted to do though was test out each of the colors and just see how they look on the paper. And the first thing that I noticed when I was testing them out is all 3 of the colors were actually a lot darker than I thought they were going to be. I think the color on the caps made them look a little bit lighter, so I was a little anxious about that because they all were about like the same level of like, light and dark, so there wasn't that much of a variety there. And I just started I kind of wanted to add this into because I wanted to show like my process of like the sketch, and I ended up just coming up with this random character. At first I was thinking like maybe like, I don't know, she's like a goddess or something. There's not like anything behind it. I literally just made it up. And then this was also just me like testing out the colors and like where I wanted to place them, which is like I feel like the hardest part about this. And I wanted to keep the character that I was designing like pretty simple because I only have 3 colors. So I couldn't do a lot of too crazy stuff, but I actually like this very first draft that I was like playing around with ended up actually being the final decision that I ended up coming up with for like the final drawing that you'll see. But yeah, and this came to me pretty fast, and this like sketch also came to me pretty fast. So I was actually like, because again I was like anxious because I had no idea what I was gonna do, but I actually really like this character design, and I might draw it more in the future. And I think it's just really cool too because like I would have never probably come up with this if I didn't do this challenge. I kind of doubt I would ever really draw this character. So yeah, it was really fun. And I didn't even like, when I was going into this like design too, I wasn't even really thinking about the colors. I was kind of just playing around. And I ended up also, whenever I was done with this version, I ended up also like kind of sketching out like a full body thing, and I ended up not doing a full body illustration. I was also playing around with other color combinations that I could possibly do, but I ended up deciding that I liked the original one that I was doing from the get-go. And I also wanted to include more of my sketching process in this because recently in a lot of my videos, I don't tend to show as much of it, and I knew from the beginning that I wanted to use pen to outline this because I was thinking about using colored pencil, but then I was also afraid that it would become, I don't know. I don't know if it would necessarily be cheating if I used a colored pencil. I mean, I ended up using black line art. So is that cheating? I don't know. I don't think it is. I didn't use like it to color anything necessarily. I don't know, but I was really playing around though. Something I was kind of playing too with on this, which also one of the things I'm deciding to change was I ended up making her eyebrows like those like little circles. And those were just so fun to draw and I love how that looks. Like it's so cute. It gives me like Bee and Puppy Cat vibes. Or like Steven Universe or something. Also, like the way that this turned out, especially her face in that first little sketch that I was doing, was giving me like Bratz vibes a little bit, which is kind of weird because I'm not like a big like I've never really been like a Bratz fan. Like I never had the dolls. I didn't watch any of like there were like shows I think or something. Yeah, I never watched any of. So it's weird that that was like kind of reminded me of that. But I had so much fun like drawing her face too. I love like the super like I don't know, it was just like a really fun shape to make. And yeah, I was just having a lot of fun. And again, the original idea for this was that she was gonna be like, I don't know. At first I was thinking like again, like some sort of goddess. And then I ended up also like adding wings, which by the way, the wings that I ended up adding on the first drawing ended up not turning out great because they look just weird because I forgot how to draw wings for a second. Yeah, you'll see. They look a little rough. It's fine. But I also just had a lot of fun like drawing her body type and everything. I've been playing around more and practicing more with my anatomy. And I think that's kind of helped me a lot because I noticed whenever I was sketching this, it was coming a lot easier to me than it has been in the past. So that was good. And I decided to give her like really long straight hair, which is so fun to draw, by the way. I tend to and I wanted to give her straight hair instead because I tend to gravitate towards drawing very big, like either curly or wavy hair, but I was trying to do something different for once. So I did that. Yeah, you can also tell this brush pen that I'm using is like frayed really badly, but whenever I have brush pens, I use them as much as I possibly can. I push them as far as I possibly can until they're literally like impossible to use. So yeah, even though I literally have like I recently got a whole bunch of new ones, so I could literally use those, but I'm stubborn. I don't want to waste supplies. And also like my line art is like really messy anyway. Yeah, I don't know, the style of this still looks like just kind of different from my usual style. Then again though, I've been having like a weird battle with my style recently. I've been kind of experimenting with new different things because I haven't been fully happy with it anyway. So that's probably why too. But yeah, this was like so fun though, and like it was just I was like nervous before, but it ended up becoming like it was like a fun challenge. And again, it got me out of my comfort zone. It made me draw things that I usually wouldn't. And like coloring it was so relaxing, and it felt like coloring like a coloring book. And I think too, like I'm really happy too that I decided to plan out my sketch before I went into it because it would have been a mess if I didn't, I think. And yeah, I would say if you ever plan on doing this challenge, definitely like, play with different color combinations and stuff maybe first. I know there's also like, I know some people will also like, they'll challenge themselves even further by having the drawing first and then picking out the colors. So then you're forced to just, you have to figure out your colors that way, which I think is actually even more challenging. I did not do that though. Then again, though, I didn't like have the colors in mind though. Anyway, so maybe it wouldn't have even mattered. Yeah, this was just it was such a fun, relaxing experience. I would do it again, honestly. I think in the future. Yeah, again, those little flyaways are so much fun. Also, like the outfit too, specifically. Originally, it was gonna be like a very long, like bodycon dress almost, or like I think they're called like mermaid dresses or something, but I ended up changing my mind because originally I was gonna do a full body, but then I changed my mind because I wanted to just do like the knees and up. I decided to do for the second little sketch I have, and so I ended up kind of giving her almost like a lingerie type look instead. I ended up changing my mind because I didn't think the bodycon would look as good because I would have, because again, I wanted it to be like a full, like all the way to the ground thing, and it would have looked weird if I just cut it off at the knees, um, for it to look like that. So I decided to change it into like the lingerie type thing instead. I was also playing around with just making it like the bodycon dress where her thighs ended, but I didn't like how that looked. And I don't draw like lingerie that often. Um, and I kind of want to do more of it because it was really fun to like play around with. And they also ended up making like you can see like on the top of her outfit, I wanted it to be like mesh, like a mesh effect. It doesn't really look mesh. If I could have shaded more on this, if this was like a fully colored and shaded like project, I would have probably gotten a lighter color of that green that I'm using currently, and I would have like shaded it with that. So it looks more like almost like it's a see-through through the skin, but I could not do that obviously because it would have looked just like one big mass of color. So I decided to just leave it white. Yeah, and I didn't do anything either with her skin. I didn't want to shade it really. Well, I couldn't really shade it anyway. So I decided just to leave it white, and I'm glad I did because I think it creates a better contrast compared to the rest of the drawing overall. I will say though, when I was working on this, I was so grateful that I had that coral pink color, which again, it looks like almost red. It's a lot darker than I thought it originally was. Yeah, I was so happy I had that color though because I think those two, that blue and that like bluish green color, they would have, I think, just not looked that interesting next to each other. And if I got another like blue or even like a purple, I think it would have just been a lot less interesting. And whenever I added that coral pink in, it really made the rest of the drawing pop, and I'm so happy that I got that color because it really adds like, I don't know, it like stands out a lot better to the rest of the drawing, and it makes it work, I think, because I do think the color that looks the most odd in this is definitely that blue green. Also, like, I never use that color like on anything because it's so dark. Also, I don't use green that often. Like, all my green markers are like still like very new because I realize I don't use them that often. Something also that I noticed when I was coloring this was whenever I saw like the blue and the coral pink together, it was giving me like circus clown vibes, especially too with like the makeup that was running down her face. Originally it was supposed to be like tears, but it turned out looking more like makeup, and then also like the white face. I ended up deciding to give her like a clown look, which I wasn't originally gonna do that, but I ended up adding. You'll see, I eventually add more to it also to give it more of that clown look, which I actually really like. And so I have no idea where this cover is supposed to be because I also like, again, she has wings, which by the way, those wings turned out terrible on this one. I forgot the shape of a wing and it just looks weird. It doesn't even look like wings. And they also gave her like a halo. So she's like an angel clown. I don't forget now. I also decided to actually layer the marker because again I realized when I was working on this, it's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to shade this. That's also why whenever I did the line art, I added some cross hatching so that you can see a little bit more depth there. But yeah, and then you can also see me adding like the little, I was hesitant at first to add the clown nose, but then I decided, I was like, you know what, let's just do it. And I actually really like how it turned out in the end. But as I was saying, I ended up adding, like, I layered the color a lot, so that you could see a little bit more of, a difference in shade, which actually, the nice thing with alcohol markers is you can really, like, you can layer over top of them multiple times, and you can get, like, a completely different shade, of whatever color you're using, which is really nice, and I would recommend it. And also, like, it doesn't, unlike if you're using, like, water-based markers, it doesn't fray the paper, so it's really nice. And I realized too when I was doing it, like, I haven't done that in a while because I usually will just like use different colors to shade, and it made me realize like I could utilize that more in the future, because I do think overall in a lot of my art I tend to prefer less color overall. Like, I like more simple color palettes anyway. Oof, my voice is dying. Every time I shoot a video, it's really bad. Every time I shoot a video that's like in any way long, my voice just depletes after a very short period of time. It's not great. Um, but yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. um, again, just coloring this was so satisfying. I was having a great time. Also, like, I've realized more and more, I've kind of developed my own style in the way that I ink, especially because, like, I've said this before in past videos, but I'm very messy with my inking because I honestly just like how it looks. I think specifically with my style, whenever I'm using pen to ink things, a lot of my art tends to instantly get a lot more stiff. And if I make like super perfect clean lines, it makes all my art look way stiffer than I want it to. And so I end up purposely kind of just making it more messy and giving a lot more like thick line and line variation because I think it gives the drawing overall more of an interesting look and it makes it more, I don't know, it draws you more into it, I think, than if I do like really clean line art. But then again too, like I'll see other people though do like super clean line art and I love how it looks. So maybe I just need to experiment more. I haven't experimented much with line art recently, especially with pens, because whenever I'm not using pen, I'm usually using with my marker art colored pencil because I say this all the freaking time, but it makes it look more soft, and I also just think it makes it, I don't know, it doesn't look as stiff to me. It's weird. And I feel like I already don't have much control over like a brush pen, so I kind of just let it go. I don't overthink it, basically. Yeah, I don't know if this is good advice. It probably isn't. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But yeah. Yeah, and again, like I had so much fun drawing this lingerie. And again, it's not something I do a lot of, but it made me want to do more of it. That's for sure. And I also added like those little I don't know, those pieces that are like draping off her arms. That was not in the original like little sketch I did either, and so I added that as well. I was thinking also about adding tattoos, which I actually do think could have been cool, and part of me now is kind of regretting not adding any because I do think it does look a little plain, but I think overall I am happy. And that's also actually another reason why I wanted to change the outfit, because I thought that the bodycon dress was just a little bit too basic, and I wanted to add more contrast between the skin, and I wanted to add like multiple pieces of clothing. So that's also another reason why I wanted to add the lingerie. And again, like the only problem too with not only having one color to use is I originally probably, if I had like more colors available to me, I would have added probably a lot more in like making things look more mesh in other areas, like also where she has like her stockings or whatever. I probably also would have added more mesh to that and like more detail, but I couldn't, unfortunately, because I only have 3 colors. It's part of the challenge. Oh yeah, but I also really like the way the cross hatching turned out on this, which I'm not even sure if you'd consider it to be cross hatching because I'm not crossing it. I'm just like, for my like shading when it comes to pen, I tend to just do like straight lines. Obviously there's mesh too, where that's like where I did the actual cross hatching, but I actually just like the straight lined look with my style. And yeah, also the wings on this turned out better than the last one. I forgot that wings have like a little bit of like a little curve on them, which I forgot to do last time, so I think that's why it turned out so weird in the end and overall. Also those like little she has like little flowers almost, because originally I was gonna do like a very flower themed thing. So I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, because she's not even wearing a flower crown, she's wearing like a headband. So I don't even know what's going on there. I never really thought it through all the way. Yeah. I was also playing around a little bit with the lips too, and I decided not to add like a line between the lips, and I kind of just wanted it to be one form. Part of me kind of wishes I didn't outline the lips fully. I kind of wish I left like the bottom ones not outlined because it kind of looks weird. Overall, but again, in the end, I'm happy with it. Also, though, whenever I was working on this, I realized too, like, this reminds me a lot of Buggy. Because Buggy has like the red and blue, he has like blue hair, and it's literally the exact same colors of Buggy's design, which I thought was funny. I didn't even realize it until after I was done completely. But yeah, overall, I thought this was such a fun challenge. I would really recommend it, honestly. I think it's a great, yeah, it's a fun way. It also like gets you out of your comfort zone, I think, in a good way. Um, and yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.